it hard to make arrangements with yourself when you're old enough to repay but young enough to sell? Tell me lies later, come and see me, I'll be around for a while. I am lonely, but you can free me, all in the way that you smile. Tell me why, tell me why. Is it hard to make arrangements with yourself when you're old enough to repay but young enough to sell? Tell me why, tell me why. Is it hard to make arrangements with yourself when you're old enough to repay but young enough to sell? Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out Tell Me Why by Neil Young. An absolutely fantastic song. Really great fun to play. Not without a few tricky moments though, particularly in the chorus. There's a couple of 2/4 bars in there that really kind of, if you're not super confident with your rhythm, it's pretty easy to fall off the groove and hard to get back onto it. So a couple of things to note before we get stuck into the song. The first thing is that we're tuned down one tone. Very common thing for Neil Young. So we're tuned to from thicker string to thinner string. A D, a G, a C, F, A, and another D. So standard tuning down a tone. If you don't have a tuner or you can't remember it, you can put a capo on the second fret, tune as usual, and then take the capo off. But that's probably not the best way. You're better off using a tuner. The arrangement that I'm going to be teaching you today is mixed on a few different versions by Neil Young. The original recording starts straight away with the vocal, but most times when he plays it live, he adds the kind of the instrumental riff there at the beginning before he starts singing. Now, also on the original recording, there's quite a few different guitar layers that weave beautifully together. What I've tried to do is to take most of the kind of the distilled versions of the way he plays it live and some of the elements from the original recording and put them together. I think that it's enough of a framework that if you really want to dig deep and nail down exactly any particular live version or the original recorded version, that you should be able to do it with just what I'm going to teach you today and a little bit of extra listening. So let's start off with that intro riff. So this is a little riff there that I use for the intro, and it happens after every chorus. The first chord is a C, but we've got a nice little country style run up. Third fret on the thicker string, open fifth string, second fret, and then to the C chord. So obviously starting on beat 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So on the C chord, classic Neil Young thing, bass note on the C note of the C chord first. And this is a down pick, and I pick quite kind of in. I'm not picking down like that, I'm picking kind of in toward the body of the guitar. Kind of accents, often the pick ends up resting on the next string. Just kind of helps define it, makes it a bit harder and a bit rattlier, I think, which sounds more like the original to me. So we play the fifth string, then there's a down and up strum. Then we play the fourth string, we lift off the second finger first of all, and we do a little hammer on. Now second finger is going to move down a string, and we do the same thing, this open G string, second finger, strum, These moving bass lines within the chords are something that Neil Young uses quite often. And I encourage you to extract the idea and apply it to other songs you're learning as well. It's a really great little tool. Anyway, continuing on to the D chord. When it moves to the D, we play the bass note for the D, then the A, which is the 5th string, back to the D, and then we've got 3rd fret, 2nd fret, going down to the A minor. So C to D, A minor. Now here we've got the 5th string and 2nd finger hammering down there from the open D string again. Now he lifts off 2nd finger, plays the D string. Now I'm guessing it's kind of a D7 really, is what I'm hearing there. Harmonically it still feels like it's the A minor, but looking at the notes I'm saying it's a D7. But then he swaps it over for a hammer-on with the 2nd finger and the 2nd fret of the 5th string. So this would be sort of more like a G thing, I guess. Or G sus if I'm leaving that 1st finger down. So, yeah, up to you how you want to name that bit. But A minor, D string, leaving 1st finger down and 2nd finger hammering down there on the 2nd fret of the 5th string to G. So this is bass, chord, bass, hammer, bass, hammer. This is 5th string to the 2nd fret, 4th string to the 2nd fret. Play the open 3rd string, the G, bass, chord. 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4. 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4. Getting the rhythm is the key thing here. If you play the right notes but with the wrong rhythm, it ain't going to sound right. So definitely I'd spend a little bit of time working on this first 4-bar sequence and being able to play that intro before you plow through the rest of the song, because the techniques will seem relatively simple once you've got this part right. So one more time through the whole of that little riff part, just nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now luckily for us, the verses are a lot simpler. Same chord progression going C, D, A minor, G, but the bass movement is a lot less. The fun starts when we get to the chorus. So let's check out the verse and get comfy with that before we get into the real tricky part of the chorus. So the verse starts with the C chord, and we're alternating between the bass note on the 5th string and the little hammer on with the 2nd finger on the 4th string. So we end up with C, 4th string, 5th string, 4th string to D, 4th string, 5th string, 4th string, 5th string. No climb down. A minor, 5th string, 4th string with a hammer on to G. Okay, just again the bass note on the G, and then 2nd finger, 2nd fret on the 5th string with a little hammer on again. So one more time through that. So sailing hardships through broken harbors, out on the waves in the night. Second half is the same again. Still the searcher must ride the dark horse, racing alone in his fright. Now the fun begins. So what's happening now is that there's going to be a 2/4 bar of D, Then it goes into a kind of a regular bar of the A minor, and then some strumming. And it's usually the strumming that makes people fall off the skateboard a little bit here. It just feels a little bit awkward under the fingers. Now, I'm going to attempt to count through it because I think that can be helpful. But the easiest way to learn this kind of thing is to listen to it a whole lot, get it into your musical imagination so that you know what your guitar is supposed to sound like. If you're just doing all the thinking without enough listening, it's very unlikely that you'll get it correct. Okay. Also want to note that when I'm playing it, I try and keep my leg, the pulse going all of the way through, even the weird strummy bit where it feels a little bit awkward, because it does land back on the beat again. Right. So that's something that you may or may not feel comfortable doing. It works really well for me. I would try and keep that foot tapping all of the way through, even in the parts where it feels a bit syncopated. If you're doing it correctly, it'll come back in after each one of those strumming sections where it feels a little bit awkward. Let me play through it, and then I'll go through and explain in a little bit more detail. Then we're through. So starting off here, we've got the D first of all. Just nothing really difficult here. 4th string, 5th string, and this is the 2/4 bar. So 1, 2. Then we're going to an A minor. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, so A, 4th string, 3 and 4, and. 3, 2, 0, 3 would be the notes. 3, 2, 0 on the 5th string, and then down to the G. Okay, little fingers going down at that time. It's a pushed G. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Try and get that little bit first of all, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. And this is where it gets a little sticky. So from the G bass note, we're putting first finger down on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, 2nd finger down on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Up, down, down, up, down. That last up, down, the 1st and 2nd finger lift off. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, 4. Let's do that again one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1. And there's another 2/4 part just there before it goes into this. Arrangements with yourself, which has got another syncopated strumming pattern. So there's lots of things rhythmically going on here that are a little bit strange. Okay, it's definitely worth learning. It is challenging, right? It was challenging for me when I was like, God, how am I feeling that? What's the count? You know, I'd listen to this song a gazillion times, so I know it in my musical imagination, but still it helped to understand it, to be able to kind of trust the beat, trust the groove where it was going to be. So I think it can be helpful to think about the count. So one more time through. I want to mention as well, when it goes to that G chord, the first time it does the little sus. The second time it's just, there's no sus part, it's just the G, but it's still up, down, down. That rhythm is still there. So let's just get through that part up to the G major 7. That's the little bit where it's hard to make arrangements with myself, which is, I'll explain that chord when we get there. So let's go through the tricky 2/4 part one more time. So 3, 1, 2. So the D, 1, 2, A minor, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, E, and 2, E, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, E, One more time through the sticky little part. I'll see if I can go even slower. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Up, down, down, up, down. 1, 2. Back to the A minor. 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2. Now the chords for this little section, the hard to make arrangement section, is G major 7. So third finger stays where it is, second finger. I think sometimes Neil uses his first finger there actually, but for me it's easy to use my second finger, second fret of the thinner string. G major 7. Let me talk through the chords first. C, then D to a C chord, B minor going to E minor. On the E minor I get back into this little steps thing on the E minor. There's also a 2/4 bar on the B minor as well. There's a bit going on here. Like I said, much easier just to listen to the tune rather than trying to think too much. But the thinky part, I think, can be kind of helpful. So the rhythm for the G major 7, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and 4 E. Down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. It is a bit of an odd rhythm, especially after everything else that's gone on. Then D, C, B minor, D. So once it gets to the D chord, it moves to all down strums. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're back into that intro section. I would recommend spending a little bit of time with that sync, the down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, down. Spend a little bit of time just doing that on its own if you're struggling with that. Like I said, the weirdest part about it is where it's come from. The fact that it's just had a little 2/4 bar with a little of a gap, and then you've got another syncopated rhythm after an odd time bar. I'm hoping that you get this. I'm just going to emphasize this point. It's music here, and even though what I'm describing sounds kind of technical, it isn't. It's just a beautiful piece of music, and if no one had explained to you that there were these odd times and funny syncopations, you probably wouldn't have noticed. You would have just thought it's a great sounding song. You might have thought, oh, it sounds a little bit tricky in that part, but don't overcomplicate it in your mind. Right? If you listen to it, if you look at the strumming patterns and the chords that I'm showing and you've listened to it a bunch of times, you shouldn't have too much trouble with it. Okay? Don't be put off by all the complexity. Okay? One more time, I'll just play right the way through the chorus, and then I think we're about there. So from the D, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 2. 1 and a 2 and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and 4 and a D, 2, C, 4, B minor for 2, then E minor. And then we're back into our riff. So the most common arrangement for Neil playing it live seems to be intro, verse, chorus, intro, verse, chorus, intro, chorus, intro. That's a general standardization, I guess, of a few different versions that I've seen him do. Do feel free to experiment and embellish the song. Neil definitely does that live as well. There are different ways of approaching the hammer-ons and different patterns that you might like to try out. If you're a big Neil Young fan like me, you might want to check out some of those versions because there is a lot to be learned by studying his guitar style. Really hope you've enjoyed this one. If you're over on YouTube, I really appreciate you hitting that like and subscribe button. It does make a big difference to the channel. I love doing Neil Young songs. I'm going to do some more. I've done all of the big hits. What should I do next? Let me know in the comments below. Have yourself an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you for plenty more very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.